Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be going over possibly my best 12-man best ball mania team, which is a $25 buy-in league. You can win a maximum prize of $3 million for first place. Listen, we have a stacked roster. We got the 10th pick in this draft. It's a 12-team league. You guys are going to see it right now. I'm very excited about how this played out. So let's take a look and get right into it. All right, everybody, like I said, we ended up with the 10th overall pick in this 12-man league, Best Ball Mania, $3 million prize pool over here. And let's just start it off. Number one off the board was Justin Jefferson. Then we had Jamar Chase, Tyreek, McCaffrey, Kupp, Eckler, Kelsey, Bijan, and Diggs. And then we were up to pick. We had the option of either selecting CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown, Saquon, in that range of outcomes. So we decided to go with CeeDee Lamb. He's been progressively getting better each and every season that he has been in the league. Dak wasn't healthy last year. Hopefully he stays healthy the entire season. We can get a top 5 finish from CeeDee Lamb this year. I think he's a great value here at the end of the first round. I like him definitely over A.J. Brown, and I think he's a better player than Garrett Wilson so far in Wilson's short career. So next pick off the board here is A.J. Brown. Then Garrett Wilson goes, Barkley, and then Amon-Ra. It would have been very nice to have Amon-Ra, but I will say I was super stoked to get Nick Chubb at pick number 15. I think that was a steal in the second round. We have CeeDee Lamb, who could be a top 5 wide receiver. We have Nick Chubb. I've been talking about him nonstop, that he could be the number 1 running back in fantasy football. It's a real possibility. It could honestly happen. So great start to this draft. And Nick Chubb fell past ADP to me, so that's amazing. 2 great picks to start off the draft. So I'm thinking right here, I'm taking a look at the receivers that are in play because we just took Nick Chubb. Now, I'm not really going to rush and take another running back. If another good running back falls to me, then I'll take him. But I'm not going out of my way trying to get another running back. Although ETN was on the board at this point, and it could have been a very solid player to grab, I decided to go with Amari Cooper, and you'll see how that ended up playing out later in this draft. But Amari Cooper, I think Deshaun Watson is going to take a step up in this second year back in the league. He didn't even have a full year back, so hopefully he takes a massive step up. And Amari Cooper has been a consistent wide receiver in fantasy football for the longest time. I think if there's any year for him to go off, it's this one. Next goes off Deebo Samuel. I'm so glad I took Amari Cooper here instead of Deebo Samuel. I'm not really too big on Deebo this season. McLaurin, Keenan Allen, and then we get our guy, Jerry Jeudy. This is another guy I've been nonstop talking about. Jerry Jeudy fell perfectly to me at this pick number 39 here. So we're starting this draft off with CeeDee Lamb, Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the league, Amari Cooper, insane upside potential, and then Jerry Jeudy, another guy with insane upside potential. He was just coming into his own at the end of last season, had the best season of his young career while Russell Wilson was struggling. This team is looking fabulous right now for me. This guy was on some other stuff here, dude. I don't know what was going on with this guy. I realized he was trying to pair Kirk Cousins with Justin Jefferson. He took Kirk Cousins about 75 picks ahead of his ADP, which I don't understand at all. I don't know what he's doing. And then he also takes Dallas Goedert super early before TJ Hawkinson. That makes no sense to me at all, but do your thing, buddy. Take a jack. Do your thing, buddy. Deontay Johnson. And now we are up on the board. We had Kenneth Walker slip to us in the 5th round here. So we compare Kenneth Walker with Nick Chubb, and that backfield is elite. I like both of these guys. Kenneth Walker went off last season. A lot of people are down on K9 this year just because Zach Charbonnet got drafted. That doesn't mean he's not going to get the full workload that he got last season. All right, he's going to get a lot of work. Now, of course, Charbonnet might take up like around 10-ish carries a game, but I'm not expecting him to just rip the role away from K9 here. So I think that's a great selection. I like him a little bit more than Alexander Madison, who went one after him. Trevor Lawrence goes off, George Kittle and Damian Pierce go off. So we're left with the decision, do we take a quarterback here or do we take a wide receiver? We decided to go with Jackson Smith-Jigba, JSN here. Love the pick. So now you have 2 players on the Seattle Seahawks who score a lot of points, and you're going to see that we have 2 players on the Browns and the Seahawks, that is. Wait till next round, you'll see who we get and pair with these guys. Akers, Montgomery, And you guys will notice no quarterbacks went off the board since I last picked. And Deshaun Watson is sitting there, prized possession. He's ready for the taking for me. All right, now we paired Deshaun Watson with Amari Cooper. We have this whole Browns offense, at least you think we do. Wait till later in this draft, but we're heavily betting on the Browns having an up year here. So we have so many points to be scored. Anytime the Browns score a touchdown, basically, we're going to be getting points this season. After Jahan Dotson goes off the board, I was a little bit sad about that. I'm not going to lie. I'm so in on Jahan Dotson. I've said it in so many videos in the past, but I think we get a real value pick here at number 87 in Alvin Kamara. All right, once he comes back, he's going to be the starter on this team. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Hopefully the Saints don't sign Kareem Hunt because that'll kind of eat into his value just a little bit. But as of right now, our running backs, Nick Chubb, Kenneth Walker, and Alvin Kamara, when they're all healthy, when Kamara comes back from suspension, this is a great 3 running backs to have. Zach Charbonnet honestly would have been a great pick here. So we would have had the entire Seattle Seahawks backfield, but that's not how the cookie crumbled. But instead, we've been talking about how we have Deshaun Watson, we have Amari Cooper, we have Nick Chubb. We basically score anytime this Browns offense scores. Now we're going to add Njoku to this mix, and we have the entire Browns offense on our team. So like I said, if the Browns are scoring points, hopefully they don't get shut out in any weeks because then we're screwed. But we're putting all our eggs into this basket. We're putting our eggs into a team that is going to perform. They're going to score points. This isn't a team that's going to get shut out every single week. It's not like we're picking the whole... I used this reference in a video or two ago, the Carolina Panthers team. It's not like we're taking a team like that. We're taking a team that will be in contention for the division title here in the AFC North. Dak goes after Njoku, Jameson Williams, Aaron Rodgers, and then Daniel Jones. And you know what we decided to do here? We said, screw it. We're going to stick with the AFC North theme right here. I like this guy a lot that's going after Njoku, Pat Freiermuth. All right, everybody's all over Pat. He fell to me right here. I decided, why not have the best of both worlds? We'll take Njoku and Freiermuth, both solid options, and it's best ball. Whoever scores better, I will get the more points. So why not? And then at this point in time, I'm thinking, okay, wide receivers are not looking too great, but Zay Jones did slip down to me. And I will add a lot of these guys on this list, once I go over them at the end, their ADPs we got them so late for their ADPs. We stole almost every single person in this draft later than they should have gone. All right, but we'll take a look at that later. We took Zay Jones here, the final wide receiver on this Jacksonville offense. They have Calvin Ridley, they have Christian Kirk, and they have Zay Jones that will be playing normally. I expect Trevor Lawrence to take a huge step up in year number 3 here. He's gotten better both of the years, his rookie and then his second year. I'm expecting around 20 fantasy points per game from Trevor Lawrence this season. And Zay Jones is going to catch some strays here from this offense. Dalton Schultz next, Elijah Mitchell, Darnell Mooney, Rondell Moore. I probably would have selected Rondell Moore here with this selection at 135, and I was hoping that he'd fall to me. He didn't make it around to me, but we took Jaylen Warren. We took Najee Harris's backup, and Jaylen Warren isn't bad at all. He catches a lot of passes out of the backfield, and he gets a decent amount of work for being a backup in this offense. So I was not mad at that selection at all. He was going around the same time as Damian Harris, Tyler Algier. I don't know how much Algier is going to play, so I would guess that Warren's going to play more than Algier just based on the fact that they drafted Bijan. But if they're going to use 2 running backs, you never know. That could have went either way, so I might be regretting this pick, but we'll take a look at that later. And at this point in time, there really was not any receivers at all on the board except for the one guy I had my eye on, Marquez Valdes-Scantling with our 13th pick here. He's a starter for the Chiefs offense who scores a ton of points. You'll notice there's a trend with all my selections here. They score a lot of points. These teams know how to score. They're not teams that are going to get shut out or score 3 points in a game. They have elite, explosive offenses. So that's why I'm selecting the players that I'm selecting until this next pick. We're taking a risk on this next pick, but Brock Purdy, Devin Singletary. We're going to scroll down a bit here. Jeff Wilson, Kendry Miller, and then we take a shot on Derek Carr. Now, our main quarterback is Deshaun Watson. We don't know how well he's going to perform. I'm hoping for a big breakout in year number 2 back for him, year number 1.5 back for him. But Derek Carr has been looking good in camp, and hopefully he's put on some muscle. I will say I saw a screenshot of Derek Carr looking jacked, and he's been playing well so far in the preseason and in camp. So we'll take a shot on Derek Carr here. Zamir White, I was actually looking for White the round after, and I didn't see him, and somebody scooped him up super early. I was pissed about that one. So that was a pick that I could have selected, but missed out on that, unfortunately. Michael Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Gus Edwards, and then at this pick here, number 178 in the draft, we take the Giants, quote unquote. I'm saying quote unquote because we don't know if Hodgins or Hyatt or Paris Campbell, anybody on this offense could be the number one wide receiver, but Hodgins balled out late in the season last year, and at pick number 178, I'm fine with taking a risk on Isaiah Hodgins. He could score a lot of points if the Giants get going and if Daniel Jones and him, come up with a good connection. Curtis Samuel, Juwan Johnson, John Mechie. John Mechie, I was actually going to pick right here, so he sniped me right here. The Waterboy 25 actually sniped me here, which sucked. We ended up going with Tajay Spears. He's shown good running ability in the preseason, good running ability in training camp, and if anything happens to Derrick Henry, then I'll take my chances with Tajay Spears right here. Now, most of these picks towards the end of the rounds are kind of throwaway picks because these guys aren't going to outscore your main guys most likely. They're just kind of here as the backup option. So that's why we went with Jerome Ford as the backup to our primary running back in Nick Chubb. God forbid anything happens. At least we have a secondary option in that offense. Hunter Henry, Tyler Conklin, Mecole Hardman, Trey McBride, and then last but not least, we selected CJ Stroud. I mean, the people that he's going around, looking back in hindsight, probably would have taken a chance on Trey Lance, but CJ Stroud is the starter of this Texans team. They can only go up, right? If he has a terrible season, he's my last quarterback selected, so it's not really too big of a deal. All right, here we go. So we move the camera to the left side, but look at these ADPs like I'm talking about. So we reached a little bit, not really even reached, like within 5 or 10 ADP, I'm fine with taking that player, that certain player. Deshaun Watson, he was our pick number 82. His ADP was 84th. So we took him a little early. Derek Carr, we got 8 picks later than he was supposed to go. CJ Stroud, 10 picks later than he was supposed to go. Nick Chubb, 3 picks later than he was supposed to go. Kenneth Walker, 5 later. Alvin Kamara, we drafted basically on target, 1 or 2 positions early. Jaylen Warren, we got 2 positions later. Tajay Spears, 7 later. Jerome Ford, 30 picks later than he was supposed to go. CeeDee Lamb was basically on time. We jumped 1 pick there. Mari Cooper, we got him 1 or 2 later. Jerry Jeudy, 1 later. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 6 later, 5 or 6 later. Zay Jones, 5 later. Look at all these picks, guys. We stole a bunch of these guys that should have never fell to us. Valdez-Scantling, 10 later. Hodgins, 11 later. Njoku was right on the money there with 106, and then Patty, 2.5 later. This whole team was just at a value, and I love our team. Let me know what you guys think of this draft. Personally, I think this is the most well-rounded team that I've drafted. We got a lot of faith in the Browns. If the Browns play well, we're going to be winning some money in this tournament. Anyways, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck in all your fantasy football drafts, and I will catch you in our next video. Peace.